My name is Alex McFarland, and I own a direct placement recruiting company called Persevus. I remember reaching out in maybe August or September of 2016 when we first started Persevus as a government contracting firm and needed somebody to be able to answer the phone. So that way, when it was just a one-man show, I wasn't getting interrupted when I was trying to get things done, but also didn't want to have potential clients or vendors that I'm trying to get a hold of not be able to reach me. I don't recall where I found Smithai, but I do remember that at the time it was a one-man show, and we were really needed to balance client needs with the ability to focus and get things done throughout the day. So Smith offered really me the opportunity to focus for blocks of time, but also not neglect clients as they come in. So, and then I was intrigued by just the quality of the experience for our clients and vendors. I was concerned when I started that, maybe the quality of touch would go down, or people would be frustrated with getting a third-party answering service. And I have never, in the 6 or 7 years that I've been working with Smith, had that complaint from a client. How we use Smith.ai over the course of the last 6 years has changed dramatically. In the beginning, we were only needing somebody to answer the phone every time it rang. And today, that's still true, but we use it in all different aspects of our business, and it's particularly in the revenue generating spaces. So one of the major functions of Smith in our recruiting workflow is to be able to answer incoming calls from candidates and be able to provide those candidates with the opportunity to book a call with a recruiter or potentially answer a quick question. But again, every time a candidate calls, somebody from Smith answers, and they answer on behalf of us, which is great. So that improves our candidate experience. On the client side, same thing. We've set up our phone system so that way, if myself or another member of the team isn't able to answer a client call, it redirects to Smith, and they take a message on our behalf, and we get the task created to give them a call back. And I think one of the third ways that Smith has consistently served us, and that hasn't changed over the years, is being a barrier to distractions. So unsolicited vendor calls from just interruptions throughout the day that come through the phone don't actually happen. They just show up in my inbox, or they show up in our project management suite, which is fantastic. So Smith has had a few recent big impacts on our workflow that were really new for us and has had a big impact. So we've actually been focused on developing our internal processes and technologies so that we don't have to grow our headcount with our growth of candidate throughput. And I can give you a few examples of how we've done that. So one example is when a candidate calls that one of our recruiters has reached out to, because Smith is able to work with our scheduling technology, and Smith is able to pull up information about each job, they're able to answer questions and book calls with recruiters without the recruiter having to be interrupted for that 5-minute call, which was fantastic. And Smithai answers every time. When our recruiters are out for lunch, the phone gets answered. When they're out sick, the phone gets answered. And that is a differentiator in terms of candidate experience that helps us make more placements and satisfy more clients. Smith has so consistently adapted to our business needs and to changes in technology. We have begun to look at our business problems and answer questions of how are we going to improve this workflow? And more often than ever, we're asking, instead of do we need to add a person to this or a new vendor? It's just, hey, can Smith do this? And more that answer is yes. And so we're growing in our reliance. As I mentioned, we focus right now on inbound, using Smith on inbound, and we're looking over the course of the next year to add outbound to our relationship. This is going to sound super corny, but what would Jesus do? It's what would Smith do? How does Smith get I get of 100 different agents that might answer the phone at any given time. How do I get the same experience? Or how does my customer get basically the same experience every time? And looking at converting that, doing that in recruiting is where we're aiming towards. And I think that that's a really interesting like aspect of the relationship with Smith, is that it's changed the way that I look at my own business, and it's motivated me to improve in terms of our, in how we do what we want to do, which is invaluable in itself, right? Like that's super cool. So I would recommend Smithai to anybody that has recognized the need to automate or outsource aspects of their business and aren't sure where to start. I think that Smith has it so nailed down, and it's such a low lift for you to start the process and for Smith to basically take over something as simple as reception, or something as simple as booking appointments with prospects or with existing clients, that you can do a test run on it and see if it works for you. And I think if you're anything like me, you're going to find that you're going to start asking questions about where else can you do this? What else can you do for me? So yeah, I think that basically anybody that's automation curious, outsourcing curious, start with Smith.